Heroes Group, and as you know, America's Heroes Group Roundtable with partner and sponsor NWVU, National Women's Veterans United. And we are so pleased to have some folks here in the studio. I'm the host, Cliff Kelly. Executive producer is Glenda Smith. Our digital media producer is Manny Corazari. And we are so pleased to have you. Our call-in number, I want you to make sure you have it, is 312-374-8130. And our panelist, everybody knows Rochelle Crump, who is a U.S. Army veteran and founder and president of the NWVU, the National Women's Veteran United. How are you?
I am present and accounted for, sir.
I love
Thank
that.
you so much.
Always says that. She's still in the service.
I was going to say, we
right.
remember that from the day, don't
There
we?
you were. Yeah. That's great. And yeah, you have someone with you.
I do. Mm-hmm. I have Jeannie Adams. She is our treasurer, and she is also a Air Force Vietnam era veteran.
Good afternoon, Cliff.
Good afternoon to you.
Good to be here today.
Listen, you also give us your title again. She just mentioned.
Oh, I'm the treasurer of NWVU. Yes.
Yeah, that's important. That's
Uh-huh.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and your service again?
Air Force.
Yeah.
Air Force. Okay.
All right,
come on
Air
now.
Force.
All right.
Yeah.
As we say, AKA Fly Girl.
Fly Girl.
She's Fly Girl.
Yeah, but tell us where again? She just mentioned.
Oh, she said Vietnam era.
Yeah.
I was also that was active duty. And reservist, I was the Desert Storm and Panama conflict.
Well, you
So,
have,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And in her personal life, she was really huge at her banking opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rochelle. I was a vice president with the Northern Trust Company.
Okay.
And Trust and Financial Services.
Okay.
Retired after 32 years and just celebrated 17 years of retirement. Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
And she was one of few African Americans at that time.
I believe it.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
She's been extremely busy.
Yes, she has.
Yeah.
And she's extremely busy with NWVU, too. I can't thank her
believe that.
enough.
Come
Yeah.
on now.
Her and I are locked arm in arm, I tell you. It's just a few of us that
If
really...
she's working with you, I know she's going to be busy.
Yeah, she busy.
She bees, right?
She bees busy. She hate to see me coming, Cliff.
But I'm getting used to it.
Oh, that's
wonderful.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to tell us about today?
Well, we'll start off by...
Because you've got a lot going here.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're starting off with the dedication, our grand opening that we had last Saturday,
Right.
September the 7th. And we had a great time. I want to say that. It was great. It was huge. And I say that simply because the family who we were honoring and the military veteran who we were honoring are significant to the United States military history. And she was Simone A. Robinson. She was 21 years old, and we've heard, told you this story before, but we're just excited that we had the great opportunity to name and dedicate that center to her. She was 21 years old when she went into the armed services and had a deployment in Afghanistan, and she did not make it home. Improvised device, accident with... Ooh, it gets hard. Every time you say it, it gets hard and hard. It never goes away. So imagine how the family feels.
Sure.
But she left a 2-year-old here. And her daughter is now 12 years old. So we're mentoring, trying to help her tell her mother's story. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult for her. She's attempted to do it several times, but she's getting better. And we're going to make sure that she gets better because we're going to walk that walk with her. So we had the opportunity to name the grand center after her. We also had some great visitors and guests, our VIP guests. The alderman of the 18th Ward, Derek Curtis, was there to give a welcome to the 18th Ward, and also basically just to say how glad he was that we had moved into the 18th Ward to provide services to, our veterans in that ward. And then we had Linda Chapa-Lavia, acting director of the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs. She was there, great lady. She inspired the audience and to understanding the needs and plights of military women veterans. And, she's a veteran herself. She came from a legislative perspective with the 116th General Assembly, and she basically, was a representative in Aurora, her and Stephanie Kiefowicz who is also from Aurora, and she's a Marine veteran. Linda is an Army Reserve veteran, so, and a veteran as well. But, it was really good to have that perspective from the legislative side, and then the veteran side being a veteran who can understand, who is also a woman. That was so huge and important for us, as military women veterans. Of course, we have all branches of service, warrior, peacetime,
Certainly. I was thinking about you, of course, when Sister Soldier mentioned that they were to say, she said, women are going to outnumber men in service.
Yes, yeah. And you know what? It's funny you should mention Sister Soldier. I was in D.C. I just got back today.
Yeah, she said she was at the
Black Caucus. We were right next to each other.
Is
we
that
sat
right
next to each other. We were
Caucus?
on the panel discussion for the Congressional Veterans Brain Trust.
Beautiful.
And we got awards and everything, but it was dynamic. Those women came together, and they came from all over, and they all have a story. Everybody has an amazing story. Some had bad stories, but they
need to hear those too.
Yeah. And they're resilient now, though. They're building them up. They're taking back, and so it went from one extreme to the other extreme, and then it was girl power, woman power. So we were getting a little excited about it, and these women are getting their doctorate degrees. Like they're giving them away. That's how many. Seriously, it was. And the majority of them, because it was a Black Caucus, were African American. And that was just so exciting to me. If you had to just seen, how proud and how, resilient these women have gotten and ready to take back the world, I'll tell you. So it was great. You mentioned her, and I was sitting right next to her.
That's great.
So so we're going to try to do some things together. She's from Indiana, so she's actually our next door neighbor. You know what I'm saying? And in fact, we're going to be doing something in Indiana in the near future, actually. So we want to mention that also. But the excitement that we had for the military coming out for the dedication, that was her unit that she, speaking again about Simone Robinson, her unit came out, the people who she served with, and some of those who actually were on the battlefield with her at that time, who still struggle, with that. Her platoon sergeant, he's still having a rough time with it. Her battle buddy still having a rough time with it. So, and they spoke to that, and she, the battle buddy, indicated that this is like a closure for her in so many ways, because she was, you lose somebody, and how do you keep that spirit alive, and that's what she was talking about. And so, just seeing that sign up there saying the National Women Veterans United Simone A. Robinson Military Women Veterans Center is dynamic. It does. And
earlier during the show, we had some experts coming from the VA relative to the trying to reduce the number of suicides and so forth, that we're having. And it'll work. It's going to happen.
It is.
Because they've got all kind of help going on.
Absolutely.
Which is what you folks do.
Yeah.
And actually, we, I think on the 21st, we actually have a training at our center for suicide training class.
Well, I have to mention that, right?
Exactly, right in. But back to the dedication, like Rochelle said, it was something that if you were there or even watched it on television, and the coverage was fantastic by Channel 7. They did a wonderful job covering the event. But it just touches you in a place that some people didn't even know existed for themselves. We had all kinds of comments, and people said, "Oh, we didn't realize this, and we didn't know this." And when we hear veteran, we automatically think of men, and so on and so forth. So it was a wonderful dedication, and it touched the families' hearts. It touched our heart, and we are, like I mentioned at that time, we're extended family to the Robinson family, and we'll always be there as support. And it's great, and I would just, my wish, the top of my wish list, is that others would be more supportive, not just veterans,
Right.
but just human beings.
Right.
Love ye one another. Treat
love
everyone
that.
right. And then give honor where honor is due.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's why
absolutely.
I think it's such a great thing and I must say this was the suggestion of Rochelle Crump that the center, the only female military veteran center in the state of Illinois, and one of the few across the country, and that this center be dedicated and named after Sergeant Robinson.
Right.
So that I think it's wonderful, and we are. I mean, this is really, we're almost 15 years old.
Yeah.
But Cliff,
Yeah, that's
this
right.
is just the beginning.
It sure
Okay.
is. I like
It's
that,
just the
Jeannie.
beginning.
I
Yeah.
like that. And
Yeah.
we'd be, remiss if we didn't mention Major Elizabeth Rockworthy, who came all the way from Dakota to be there that day, 700 miles. You know what I'm saying?
Great, yeah.
To be there. She actually was the commander of that 634th Brigade Support Battalion. And the soldiers came out for her also. The current commander is getting ready to do the change of command with her, and that was Lieutenant Colonel Roach. And, they just came with such a perspective of, they were just as happy as the family was, really. Major Rockworthy, she actually had spent like around 6 weeks when Simone first passed with the family, through the casualty part of it, helping with the paperwork and, the funeral arrangements and all of that. So, it's just amazing that they don't forget either. We mentioned
That's
only a
great.
few of the two that were affected by that. But it's ironic that one time we were at Hines doing the color guard there, and that was last year during the Veterans Holiday. And their guest speaker was Major, I think it's Major Bauer. And his speech was about a young lady who he had served with, who had gotten killed in Afghanistan, and then he mentioned her name. And he talked about that, and you could just see the emotion that he showed, by telling the story of that
Yeah.
young girl that he just cannot get out of his mind. He was there on Saturday also.
Oh, great.
Yeah, he was.
Well,
And
yeah,
then
great
when
event.
I read her bio, Major Rockworthy, in her bio, she had gotten a MacArthur Foundation, Douglas MacArthur award, and she'd gotten it like in 2017 or something like that. In that write-up, she was talking about Simone in that write-up too, indicating that she could not forget that young lady. So it is a touching thing that a lot of times people don't realize how long and how much that affects people,
Absolutely.
And so we were happy
This is
to be able to
great.
do it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think it's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Our call-in number is 312-374-8130 if anybody wants to join us. I was going to mention something, and Miss Adams said, "Oh, we're having something on that about the suicide. This is Suicide Awareness Month."
Yeah.
And
thanks to the America's Group, we learned about the lady here. I remember I was here on the panel, and then Attorney
That's right.
Ernesto brought her
Yeah.
in, and I happened to mention to her about, we're doing a suicide not long ago, and she says, well, where are you doing? And I gave her the information. Then, she was willing. She's like, well, I'd like to come by, and I was like, great. Do you want to be, a part of it? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it worked out well. She's going to be a part of that. She's going to actually tell her story first, and then they're going to pursue the training. And it works just genuinely the way it's supposed to be, with
That's
a
great.
survivor and then a training.
That's great. Miss Adams, you want to say more on this event?
Yes, that
Yeah.
event will be held at our center at 8620 South Pulaski, lower level. That's the Sergeant Simone Robinson Military Women's Veterans Center on Saturday, September 21st, 2019, from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. We'd like for RSVPs to be sent to nwvu.org@gmail.com. Telephone number 872-731-2150. And again, that guest speaker will be Erica J. Kendrick, survivor and acclaimed author of the book Who Moved My Happy.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. And she's a great joy to talk to also,
That's great.
you know.
That is great.
And, when they come to the center now, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised because I know that Sertoma Century, the director of the programs for training, Gia Washington, she came to our center before and did the mental health first aid training for us. And so she'll be surprised when she comes to the new center and see how much space she has there and how dedicated we are and committed to, Cliff, you got to come. You and Linda have got that, man, and you guys have got to come because it's one thing that we're telling you, but you have to see it for your own eyes.
Of course. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're so proud of that center. You just have no idea, but they'll be pleasantly surprised at how it looks from what we had before. Because before, we were smaller. The room was, cut off into different rooms. Well, we still have rooms, but now we have a whole lot of other training space too. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. and it's just more, it looks like an office/museum. And I sort of get the George Jefferson spirit of we're moving on up.
Exactly. And then we're going to be having our health initiatives. We're going to be doing healthy eating, training for what's it called again? Plant nutrition cooking. Plant nutrition cooking.
Nutrition cooking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I call it healthy cooking and healthy eating.
Yes, exactly.
People are talking about other plants a lot now.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Don't even mention that. Let me just say this real quick.
No brownies.
Let me say this. I don't know what they're going to do about the airplanes and people in their medical marijuana. I had not eaten. I was famished. I had missed my first flight. And I got on the plane, and I had to go all the way to the back. Where in the back was my cousins, and I got ready to sit down, and it immediately hit me. I got so nauseated. I said, excuse me, I need a mask. I need a mask.
No kidding?
I'm not kidding. So I don't know. That just brought a thought to my head that how many people are going to be able to be in enclosed space with people who are smoking marijuana, and it's legal. So what can you say? But me, I got nauseated. I actually had to get that mask. I turned that air on. I thought I was having a vertigo attack because it happens sometimes, But because I was really ill, at some point.
A lot of people can't handle it. I don't know how they're going to work that
I don't know how that's going to work in small quarters.
Yeah, but you're doing it on a plane?
He wasn't doing it on the plane, but it sure smelled like he was doing it on the plane.
It's in your clothing.
He was, it was like he had just put it out and walked on the plane almost.
I follow you now. Yeah,
and so you're so close to people, you know what I'm saying? And I was in the middle of it.
One of the funniest stories I had related to a plane, and just get off the subject for just a minute. It was a short flight. I was in the airport. There was this very attractive lady with her husband, just two good-looking people. And we got on. It was a small plane, only 4 seats across. I was sitting next to her. She was next to the window, and I was on the aisle. Mm-hmm. So I turned around, and I saw her husband sitting behind us, a few rows back. And I told her, I said, listen, I see your husband sitting. I'm going to go back and we'll change seats. And she said, that is so nice of you, but please don't. I will never get over that. I said, okay, whatever.
Right. Exactly. It's like, if it's okay with you, it's okay with me.
But, we never said a word. I didn't, hey.
Exactly. That's your all thing.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what else? Yeah. You got something else here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What I wanted to say is that, and people should know about this, and it's called the Home Depot team. Mm-hmm. And what they do is they honor veterans by actually doing work for them in their facilities and things like that, and they do it grant-based, if you will. And so, they helped us so much. John Sadler and Rita Patton, they were just wonderful. Helping us in a short time frame, get things together. We were just excited. And, the pictures of them working and stuff, we're going to send those to Home Depot and thank them so much. Because when they came down there and started looking at all the artifacts on the walls, like Jeannie said, it's like a museum, they kind of got, wow, they started taking pictures because we got the ready-made, like the meals on the wall, that type of thing, so they're looking and they were like, wow, because we got World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, we got the uniforms hanging, we got mannequins in there, you got to come and see it. I'm going to keep saying that until you get there. So,
No,
but we thank them, wholeheartedly for the
course.
hard work that they did, know. And I have to say that sometimes you don't know how people feel about things. One, John, he's a dialysis patient, and he was
Okay.
supposed to go to dialysis. He didn't even go to dialysis that day. He said, "No, I got to see this project
Wow.
through." And I was just so concerned. We all were concerned about that, but
Yeah.
it meant that much to him. So I can only say that Home Depot, they're one of the leading organizations, agencies, businesses that hire veterans. You just can't thank them enough for bringing veterans into the fold of helping projects in a community. And those are the kind of partners that we need. That's all we can say about that. Is if
true.
they're going to help veterans do things, and they do other things too, but they were
Sure,
a grand help to us. So
Yeah, that's
kudos
great.
to John and Rita.
That's great.
Yeah. So we're going to be having that our health, fitness, line dancing, fitness, and that's going to be starting out on Monday the 23rd at 12 to 1 o'clock. So, and we're going to have other things coming up, and we'll be over the the next couple of months giving you schedules and things like that, because we definitely want to promote it. Also, we have awards coming up, and I want to just say that we haven't sent you all a letter, but guess what? We chose you all to give an award to.
Oh, well, thank
Yes,
you.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're hoping
We're
that
going to get an award.
you're getting an
Hey,
award.
right,
Yes,
right.
America's Heroes Group is getting an award, for the hard work that Glenda does, you do, Manny do, to bring the perspective of veterans to the community. We can't say enough about how important it is of what you do. So, all together, collectively, and individually, your genuine, thoughts about veterans and helping them and guiding them through these mass of bureaucracy. It's really needed. So kudos. I'm so proud to be a part of you all.
Yes, you are. We're proud to have you. You
Yeah,
know
and I
that.
mean, it's not easy, and I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
I know we stress Glenda out so much, but we love her dearly. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So
No,
we're
you-
happy
you-
to
you-
announce
you
that
folks-
today as well.
You folks are just great. Yeah.
And that's going to be on Saturday, September the 28th, between 1 and 4. Oops.
Yeah, I know.
Look, oops.
Yeah, oops, yeah. Yeah.
But you have time
he'll-
to come and get
he'll
that
make it,
award.
right,
You have
he'll
time to
make
come
it.
and get that award. But we
Okay,
had to
yeah.
select you, though. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? We
yeah,
had
we'll
to.
have come, sure.
Yeah, just come and get the award. We can, adjust giving you that award in terms
Sure.
of the time, and then you can be on your way.
And if you need a speed
on your
demon to
way.
drive you down here, I will volunteer someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Speed
yeah.
demon.
Yeah,
But
right.
like Rochelle said, that's Saturday, September 28th
Yeah.
from 1 to 4.
Yeah.
And that's also one of our largest fundraising events of
Yeah.
the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's the 2019 Fundraiser Awards Luncheon will be held at the American Legion Post 330 in Calumet City.
Okay.
So we would love to have our listeners come out, support us. We are selling tickets. They're only $50, and they're tax deductible to the extent permitted by law. You can contact National Women Veterans United at 8620 South Pulaski. Phone number 872-731-2150. You can email us at www.nwvu.org.
At gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Thank you. And we'll get those tickets to you.
Okay. Well, you folks are great, without a doubt. To Rochelle Crump, thank you, as always.
Oh, thank you all.
Great. Jenny Adams,
Thank you,
pleasure.
Cliff. Thank you.
And she's the one that takes care of the money, so she's great. Thank you, everybody.